Oh my god. This looks so cool. I can't believe they just showed off Metroid Dread. Metroid Dread. I just am still in disbelief a little bit.
Thanks, Sakamoto-san. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Nintendo Treehouse Live. I am super excited about this next segment where we're going to delve into an early work-in-progress version of Metroid Dread, show some of Samus's new moves in action.
Did they show a release date?
And also, I think, get to a little bit of the way the game develops
October, right?
Suspense and tension that gives the game its title. So I'm joined by Audrey and Teresa from Nintendo Treehouse, and Teresa's going to take us into the depths of Planet ZDR.
Yeah, all right. So let's take a deep dive into the very beginning of the game. So we're going to backtrack just a little bit to show Samus's free movement here.
I love the missile block.
Spent a few missiles, so
yeah, October,
use this, interactive.
Nick,
here
what
to
did you mean
replenish.
about exactly the difficult concept? Was that something they said in the video?
One of the things I want to show here is free aim, which for those that have played
that reminds
Metroid
me
Samus
of
Returns,
the 3DS
this
game.
Made a comeback.
Oh, that's so sweet.
A lot of the area around as you use it. Also has this little tracking system that when it's targeting an enemy, it'll make that sound.
Oh my god.
I want to take a moment to say
so
that as Nate and Sakamoto-san already
amazing.
mentioned, this is the first new 2D Metroid game in 19 years. That's almost 2 decades. I don't know if you did the math, but that's a lot of years. We've been waiting for this for a long time, so we're really excited to be finally showing this to everyone.
I mean, I was 10 years old the last time a Metroid game came out. A 2D game came out.
Here's another returning move from Metroid Samus Returns, which is the melee counter. One of my favorite.
Yeah, this really reminds me of Samus Returns.
And then a new one is, or the development of the melee counter. Whoop. Let that guy move a little bit back.
Those little bat things are neat. Oh
Come back.
God.
The melee dash. I really love that because it doesn't break momentum. I can immediately do a counter and immediate damage to an enemy.
Yeah, something this game does really well is improve upon the improvements from Metroid Samus Returns. So like you mentioned, we had free aim and the melee counter in that game. And here we have the running free aim, which gives you even more freedom, and the dash melee. So instead of having to stand still and wait for enemies to attack you, you can just go get them, which really has great movement to this game.
Yeah, I love that. Like, Samus moves so well, and it's just all that freedom. It's just, this is probably the smoothest I've been able to control Samus in a really long time.
Absolutely, and you've opened up the map screen here, something that Metroid fans know to love and adore.
Yeah.
The map system is just as important in this game as ever, and it really shows you the classic Metroid gameplay progression, which is back in full force in this game, where you look at your map, you identify areas that you haven't been to yet or aren't able to access yet.
Ooh,
you try and find another way through, find a new ability, push your way forward, fill in the map, lather, rinse, repeat. So that's back and better than ever, in my opinion.
Yeah, and this area here is blinking white
so
because
excited.
there's something here that I haven't discovered yet. So I could use markers to kind of pinpoint it, just in case I don't have an ability, and I have to backtrack here once I'm able to explore it.
Yeah, don't sleep on those markers. Those can be really important in this labyrinthine world.
Sure. But this looks curious.
It is really a part of the charm of Metroid, though, having this renewed sense of purpose in your backtracking paired with pushing forward.
Yeah, another thing I want to pinpoint is the amount of work the dev team put in Samus's animations, like just her animation of gripping the walls when she can't move or like holding onto the ledge. It's just so
looking
smooth.
around.
Yeah, you'll notice little touches everywhere, so keep an eye out for them.
Oh.
Cutscene.
That seamless transition to these sort of story scenes is great.
Little moments like this when you're in
love her
helmet
suit.
view
It's
for
all,
a moment really add to the
sinewy
isolation
underneath.
And the tone of this game.
Yeah, no, this game is a sequel to Metroid Fusion, but you can see that her suit looks a little bit different than that, so that'll be a story element that people will find out what happened when they play the game. We don't want to spoil too much.
So these are the Emi that Sakamoto-san was talking about, and none of Samus's weapons seem to do anything against them. So
Run.
yep. Oh, that slide move is so cool.
She looks so cool when she's sliding.
Yep, it is. Nope. Okay.
Oh no, just no.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Missiles don't work either. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, this mechanic really reminds
about
me
this being called
like
Dread.
of the SAX,
That would
which
be why.
in
They're very
Fusion,
relentless.
Oh my. Oh wow.
it
Okay.
like took over Samus's suit, and it was like an evil
Did a
version of
little
Samus
reach
that
for me
chased you
there.
around.
Yeah.
This really reminds me a
That
lot
was
of
new.
that.
Oh.
Like
Yeah.
conceptually,
That one's clearly not well,
like
but it's
there's a
still
scary
quite
thing that chases
frightening.
you around.
Yeah.
You got to deal with.
I'm glad that it's a bit damaged and can't completely.
I'm sure that
reach to
there's a
me,
lot of
but we're gonna have to
mechanical
find a
things that are
different
gonna be
way to
different
tackle that
between
enemy.
SAX and this new.
You know, this thing
mechanic,
is a central unit which controls various areas of the planet. It's sort of a biomechanical computer, kind of a homage to maybe similar units in previous Metroid games. And from this unit, Samus can power up, get a temporary power up for her arm cannon.
Central
turn it into the
unit.
Mega Cannon.
Yeah. So.
At least you don't have to
In
ask for
typical 2D
permission to
Metroid
use your
fashion,
abilities.
you've always seen the camera like panned around here, and now with the Omega
Aim
Cannon ability,
mode.
there's this dynamic camera that you get to see over Samus's
Whoa.
shoulder, which is so cool.
Yeah, little additions like that really flesh out the classic 2D gameplay without it feeling like it strays too far from what we loved about it.
Just makes it seem really powerful.
Right. Let's see if
Special.
this works against our Emmy friend here.
Of course not.
Takes a little
Or
while
does
to
it?
charge up, so
It does.
don't wait too long.
Okay.
Oh, it does do something.
You did it.
Oh,
I wanted to make sure I had it line
Yep.
of sight.
I hope you enjoyed that. That's your one shot at it.
Yeah, so it's so powerful that in order to take that Emmy down,
Yeah, this game looks amazing.
We lose the ability of the Omega
I just can't
Cannon,
believe they
and
announced
it
this.
goes back to a regular arm
It's
cannon.
so
It was
surreal
worth it,
that
though.
they announced
It
this
was
to
easy
me.
now. It was for a moment. I also want to point out while you're scrolling your way through all of these different halls that there are so many different ways to play this game. Like Teresa
pretty sure
is
I still have the
amazing with the
Nintendo
missiles.
Power
She's the
magazine
queen of the missiles, but
that
you
listed
can also
this
just
game as
shoot
being
your regular
upcoming.
arm cannon.
Like
you can try and
2005.
avoid enemies
something.
altogether, try and hit them all. Really, it's up to you what kind of
I can't
Samus you want to
believe
be.
Metroid Dread.
Yeah, and
This is so crazy.
as Audrey pointed out too earlier, that you could use free aim to do more like line of sight shooting, but you could also just free aim shoot while you're moving as well.
It's good because you need to shoot a lot of different things in this game.
So many different
Yeah.
things. I want to see a pixelated door, and now I'm filled with dread.
Yeah, this is a new entryway.
Whoa.
Yep, these are the entries to the
Those are
various
cool
zones
doors.
that the Emmy are patrolling. And once you're in there, you need to
Oh my god.
be on the lookout for those.
This game looks so amazing.
You can hear in the background.
can't
the
even
music
believe
is
what I'm
so
seeing.
atmospheric. It really puts you on pins and needles just
It is
listening to it.
Very. I am completely on edge because
Yeah.
it's like really eerie. Can't seem to climb these yet.
Not yet.
Okay, I'm definitely gonna
Yeah, it's the
have
detail in the
to.
backgrounds and
Once I
things
get
is
my
great.
GameCube with the Game Boy player
is.
set up, I'm definitely gonna stream.
Now, especially during moments
Metroid,
like this, you can
Game Boy
really
Advance
appreciate
games.
how cool it is
Definitely
to have
gonna
an
do that now.
HD 2D Metroid game.
Should I play Fusion or Zero Mission? Any
You
votes?
tried that already, Sam.
Any preference?
Hey, it was worth a shot.
And
Just
this
try
one-
again. Maybe it'll work on this one.
Now run.
Maybe we could do like a.
So
A whole
luckily,
2D Metroid
this Emmy
playthrough.
can't go through typed spaces.
Oh yeah, I would probably assume this is 60
so
frames.
I have an advantage here.
I would be very
Somehow
surprised if this
doesn't
game wasn't
seem
60
Oh.
frames.
worried.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
they have
You're
this
following
Splatoon dark magic.
Okay, you gotta. You gotta get away
Yeah,
from
it's
that.
weird.
That's
There's a
my
couple
recommendation.
franchises
when they go
that
into
are
this
like
patrol mode,
rock
and
solid.
turn
They've never had a
red,
game that has
the
had
door
performance
locks until
issues
they
in the
sort of lose
franchise.
track of
And then
you.
there's other games
It's
that's
still
like,
trying to get at her.
Oh, yeah,
you
it's
know,
still
like
looking around, but
who cares how many performance
find
problems
another
are? We're
way
gonna
to
release
get
the
to
game
me.
anyways.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know
Like-
if it's
like
my
Age of
heart
Calamity.
throbbing through my hands or if the
Or,
controller.
I mean, even
but
Animal Crossing,
it's,
to be
yeah,
honest,
it's pretty
has
nerve-wracking
some
when facing
severe
the enemy.
performance
They're
issues.
terrifying species.
Yeah, T makes it seem like she's calm, cool,
with
collected,
Animal
and
Crossing,
badass.
doesn't-
I like to
it
pretend
doesn't really
that
ruin
she's
the game
actually as
like it
nervous
does
as I
with
am when I play it. But
More
I don't think
timing
it's true.
specific games.
Do want to point out, like, also the backgrounds, like the amount of detail that the developer,
Yeah, this looks
the
amazing.
development team has put into, like, not just the enemies in the forefront, but also in the background. I don't know if you guys can tell the shimmering thing in there.
Out there, it's moving.
Ooh,
Okay.
what?
It doesn't
What?
bode well.
Yeah, well, probably.
There's an invisible boss in the
Note that for
background.
the future.
Oh
yeah,
my
some of those
God,
details
this
kind of tell the
game.
story as effectively as, you know, a voiceover or anything.
Yeah, if you want to be a bounty hunter, you have to pay attention to details.
And you know what I also like about this? Samus is alone.
And watch out for gooey enemies.
Yeah, Animal Crossing never bothered. Also, Animal Crossing is 30 frames.
This is more, but I love
But, like,
the
even that,
detail
it's
of,
like-
the rib cage in the
I mean,
background. You just know something
I've
went
had
down
people
there.
complain about my island because of the amount of stuff on
So,
it. And just,
the thing about
you know,
Metroid enemies
had
too
people
is
say it
that
never
some of them
lagged more
have
than
patterns
on my
and
island.
you can counter them, and others don't, like this one. So I'm just gonna
Just blast them.
move him out of the way so I can use it. And this room is a communication room with Adam, who happens to be Samus's ship's PC or computer. We're going to skip this part here just because we don't want to spoil any of the lore. But Dan, if you could summarize for the folks at home.
Yeah, so as Samus is exploring, she uploads data to Adam, their ship's AI, and Adam kind of gives little analysis, just really hints though, not necessarily telling you where to go or anything like that. It's still up to you to kind of explore, but there's some interesting lore in there, and you know, some little hints that you can potentially use. And in that one, Adam was basically summarizing the ME and kind of the limits that they have of patrolling a zone, and also how dangerous they are, which we've kind of seen, but hopefully we won't see too much firsthand here.
I wonder
As you can
if
see,
it's
T
possible
doing
to
a great
sequence
job
break.
of just shooting at the environment,
Like-
looking for secrets, looking for a way forward, because it's not
A lot of
always
people
gonna be
complain about
obvious. You
Fusion
really have
because
to, it's like a
you-
puzzle.
you basically,
It's not
like,
just
had to do
action,
the
it's not just
sections in order.
exploration. There's also a lot
And
of puzzle elements here,
it's-
trying to find the way
The
forward.
speedrunning
Yeah,
aspect
and it's
of
really
it
cool too
is
how
certainly there,
Metroid
but,
Dread does
it's
this
a lot
really
more
sweet
gated
balance
off
of,
than I think a
you
lot
know,
of people
the
prefer,
moments
like
where
the
you're
way Super
allowed
Metroid is.
to have like some quiet to solve the puzzles,
If I
and
had
then
to guess,
it's interspersed with this
I would assume they're
really
going to probably
heavy, intense
gate
action.
you pretty heavily
So
through the
here's
game,
the
but I don't know.
oh.
It'd be cool if they let you
Nope.
choose the order you want to get
That
stuff.
was
or
the ME,
area,
as
or
Dan
how
had
you clear
mentioned. They have
clear
kind of three modes.
areas of the
One
game.
is the surveillance. The other is
yeah,
which
this is
is
it's like
marked
it's
with
like a
blue.
mix
They're just
between
scanning
GLaDOS
the area.
and like HAL and like
Spread mode's
It's
so
so
bad.
like a
fast.
One.
I'm like
sentry robot
playing a
or
game of
something.
chase with
So fast.
with
I don't
it.
know, there's probably another robot in a game that I just don't remember.
And then when it has Samus on
They don't seem too dangerous,
eyesight,
though. Like, you can
it
run
turns
away from
red,
them
which
easily.
is the chase mode.
Oh, her.
Yeah. So yellow is it's heard
Dang.
a noise or sensed the vibration, and it's going to go investigate that.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh gosh. No.
and
Oh,
No.
is this what it looks like when you don't do the QTE correctly?
So the ME are pretty relentless and ruthless.
I don't
it is
love the
sort of like a
QTE.
permadeath, which is very unusual for enemies with in the Metroid series. But luckily, it's not very. The game's pretty forgiving. It allows you to respawn at an area that you were in recently, so we're able to just go back and counter that again.
Yeah, as T said, insta-kill is new to the series, but it's really great because it offers a chance for you to have that challenging difficulty that I think Metroid fans expect, but without being quite so punishing with the respawning that you just have to play the whole game to get back to where you are. So it's a really wonderful balance.
Yeah, and when the ME are in patrol mode, which is that right now,
God,
it's
this game
in
looks so
pursuit of me.
amazing. Please buy this game,
scanning
everybody.
areas where they last.
Please don't sleep on this game.
And so,
because if this game doesn't sell, they're never ever making another one.
And then
they
if
may never make another one,
see
even
something in eyesight,
given
then they'll
this
go chase it.
doing well. I'm just so happy that they are believing in Metroid at least a little bit.
The way that Samus moves slower in the water.
Yeah, and the audio change too.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that detail.
You know, given that Samus Returns didn't sell,
there's always one little guy.
It's almost a little surprising that they made this. Because I don't think it even sold 1 million
I don't need to
in the United States.
I'm feeling brave.
I remember pre-ordering it, but it seemed like it kind of landed with a thud on the 3DS, to be honest. I think a lot of people at the time
that really shows how you don't
just
have
more willing to buy Switch games in 2017.
If you really master that dash
I think if
melee,
it had come out
you can
a year earlier, it would have done better. Yeah, I mean, this basically looks like
really love the
HD Samus
animation of
Returns.
the water flowing from one area to the next. Such a cool detail.
Oh my god. I love the way this looks.
Now that the water levels changed, you have access to other areas.
And here is
Ooh.
a map
Is that a map room? Save room?
So interacting with these room will grant me more visibility to the area that I'm currently in. So we sort of lightly touched on the narrative of this game, which occurs in the events post Metroid Fusion, and so that's why Samus's look looks different. But also to point out, back to Audrey's point about, the game is about exploration and action, and so this area map upgrade allowed me to see more about the map, but you can see that there's still a lot of obscurity here, and so you need to explore in order to uncover more of the area and also any secrets involved. So
yeah, it's also worth noting that this series and this game is full of really juicy lore. So whether you're a new or returning Metroid fan, if you've never played a Metroid game before, it really gets you up to speed with anything you need to know to enjoy the story. And if you are a longtime Metroid fan, you have a lot to look forward to. As Sakamoto-san said, this concludes the story arc between Samus and the Metroids. So we've been waiting a long time for this, and it delivers.
It's that little enemy that...
It's interesting that they're just openly saying that this is the end of the plot.
A lot of missiles.
Yeah, defeating enemies is definitely a boon because
does that assume that there's just
it grants you replenishment
any future
for,
Metroid game
for
will
energy
be
and also
somewhere in between the timeline?
Missiles. So definitely want to defeat enemies for that.
It's interesting that
I
they
just
would
didn't expect the enemy to be right on top of me.
The plot is over now.
That little
this is the
beeping
last
sound, I hear it in my nightmares now.
They always come up with...
Oh, he's persistent.
Maybe this is how Sakamoto sees the series, that this is his... This is how Sakamoto is choosing to
normally in
conclude the
Metroid
plot.
games, you start at the surface of the planet and you work your way deeper. But in this game, you actually start deep within the planet and try and work your way to the surface. And so that yearning towards ascension really adds to the tone of this game as well. Oh, that was a sick slide.
Wow, you can slide through the enemy. That's kind of neat. It looks like she didn't even get hit at first.
I also love that you don't have to necessarily wait for an enemy to attack in order to counter in this game. If you keep an eye out, you can actually sometimes counter before they start their attack.
Here's a throwback. So I'll have to use a missile in order to destroy that cover.
And it's only one missile. It's not like 5.
Just one missile, though.
Those 5 missile doors are kind of obnoxious, especially in the beginning when you don't have very many.
Oh, of course.
There you go. I got it.
Yeah. That's the other thing about the dash melee is that...
so given the fact that they didn't even show...
that on
they didn't...
We'll get, I think,
we have a non-update about Metroid Prime 4 aside from it still exists.
Here's our first upgrade.
I don't think it's coming out until 2023.
So very iconic to
at the
the
earliest.
Metroid series. So Samus, starts off
Especially considering Breath of
any
Wild 2 got
abilities
delayed
and slowly
to 2022.
Becomes more powerful and able to tackle.
There's just no way a game like
stronger foes, but also be able to uncover
Breath of Wild 2 that they've
explore new areas.
They teased 2 years ago and then barely teased again now.
Before. Yeah, and suit upgrades are another
I think
classic
Prime 4 is a long ways off
it's
still.
alive and well in this game. I also love you can see if you keep an eye on the background and stuff. There are all kind of cool statues and architecture that really piques your curiosity about the lore of this world.
Nice.
I love that too, using the charge beam to make a charge beam spin attack and defeat some of those
they
enemies
can still do that. Okay, that's cool.
Really handy.
Energy tank acquired.
Oh, that feels good.
Got some more life, which is always a plus for me. Need that. Yeah.
Oh man, that dash is so cool. It looks like that'll have some probably pretty good speedrunning use.
He's doing a great job of showing
that
once you really get to know these abilities and become adept at them, you start to feel like Samus. At first you're like, maybe not quite there, but once you get the hang of it, you really start to feel like a badass bounty hunter.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's just so smooth. It's like she's parkouring through this.
I wonder if there's like Joy-Con aiming. Did it? I wonder you probably have to hold R and maybe use the stick to aim. I guess in that point you would be stationary. I wonder if it's possible to aim diagonally while you're moving.
Shoot things
and explore.
Yes.
Doors.
So now we can't go through this area because of the water.
It'd be really cool
so we're not able
if
to slide.
There was like
but we are able
motion
to
and
access
Joy-Con
this door
aiming
that we weren't to before.
While you're moving.
And here's another Emmy door. But in order to not spoil any more surprises here, we're going to leave this as a cliffhanger and end our segment here.
All right. Well, that's all we've got on Metroid Dread for now.